Good evening and welcome to Kent City Council. This is our 6th regular session, and we'll begin with the roll call.
Joel Alcázar.
Present.
Sue Fox-Baroker.
Present.
Lydia Miller.
Present.
Cliff Winiger.
Present.
Chad Miller.
Present.
Peg Wren.
Present.
Doris Bloom.
Present.
Robin Jones.
Here.
John Schwimmer.
Present.
Lynn Webb.
Here.
Cindy Murray here.
Thank you, Emma. We'll continue with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance for all those who will stand. Gracious God, we gather tonight with gratitude for the gift of community and the responsibility of service. As spring unfolds around us, bringing longer days, new growth, and a sense of renewed hope, may we also experience a season of fresh perspective and restored purpose. Bless this council and all who join us this evening. Grant us clarity in our discussions, compassion in our decisions, and unity in our efforts. Just as the earth awakens and begins again, help us to approach our work with openness, creativity, and a willingness to nurture what is good for all who call this city home. May this time tonight be marked by respect, wisdom, and shared commitment to the success of our community. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everyone, and we'll get right to it with approval of the minutes from the meeting 2 weeks ago. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as submitted. We do not have anyone on the agenda tonight. We will have an opportunity for citizens to speak to council toward the end of the evening with comments from the public. So moving on to communications, we'll see we have a letter from the Department of Commerce. That is the renewal of all the Class C and D retail permits. They will expire on June 1st. We do have the option to request a hearing to bring up concerns with the renewal of any of these. Does anyone have any reason at all, which it should be fairly detailed reason, that we would want a hearing concerning the renewal of the Class C and D permits in the city of Kent? So, take that, then we agree that we will just deny any need to, we'll forego our hearing. Is that right? No objections to that. All right. That's how we'll notify the state. Also, communications, I would just mention 2 emails from staff up here regarding the soon-to-be know-before IT email training on, it'll probably be ongoing. We actually use that same company at work. So watch for emails that are requesting you to complete a training that's actually from that source. And then also, I believe there was an email with the new what was it specifically called? Our policy.
Oh, the cybersecurity.
The cybersecurity policy. I would ask you all be familiar with that policy. Are there any other communications to be mentioned? Okay, petitions, I'm not aware of any, so we'll get right into administrative reports. Chief Musser.
I have nothing.
Anything from fire tonight? Nothing? Okay. Public Works. You're the star of the show this evening.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Give you a little update what we've been dealing with. The water crews have put in 3 new water taps, 2 to local houses, and another one for Van Crest. We got that in. They've disconnected water services to 2 houses and getting them ready for it to be tore down. They fixed a few water leaks. We've marked all services and mains for the engineers for the next project on North Detroit Street. They've helped out down at the waterworks clearing the lime out of the lines. Our sewer crew had a really bad clog up on Popular Street. Took them like a week to get that done. We've cambered everything north, from North Street south to Walnut Street.
Darren, can I interrupt you for a minute? Tell them about the tree roots, how full they were and how long it took you to get those ground out up there.
Took us a week. They went through 350 feet of root ball. Then we got cell phone chargers, rubber duckies, stuff that shouldn't be in sewers. We got that cleared. And we found a manhole that no one knew where it ever was. It was actually right behind a person's garage. And the sewer main lies underneath their concrete driveway. Yeah. We could be able to, now with our camera, we can trace lines. And so it helps. Now we get a good idea where they lie and how deep they are. But we have been inspecting all sewer and storm drains for choice 1 for a future project. They just went from North Street all the way down to Walnut Street. The first alley west of Detroit and the first alley east of Main Street, the whole distance. Because we are planning on relining that sewer.
So that's the Phase 2B
Phase
portion
2B.
of the project.
We're working on I&I right now. And then we also went from Summit Street all the way north of the corporation limit, and we had to locate all water, sewer taps and mains for when we redo North Detroit Street from Eliza North. And then they went down the storm drain from Carroll all the way to Franklin, because that's in pretty bad shape. We plan on wanting to replace that. The street crew, I don't know if you guys noticed, they're trying. They're filling the potholes the best we can with stone because the hot patch plants ain't open yet. They've been replacing damaged signs, putting up the new signs, and they deal with the storm cleanup. And then we got ahead of it, then the weather got nice, then people started cleaning up their yards, so they're back at it. We've been getting the quarry ready for the season. We've been working with the water works to get that ready. They fixed the swing and put the new merry-go-round in at Pioneer Park. We replaced number 3 hole at the Frisbee Golf at Wharton Park. It got ran over by an Amish horse. So for the future, we plan on getting all the roads repaired from the water projects along Lark, Clover, and Cary. We got a bid out to fix all the alleys that run east and west from North Street to East Forest that people went through during the downtown project. Letting people know, I've been getting a lot of calls. The gas company will be in to fix your yards and hot patch that when it gets ready. That'd be like Long Care, like Ward 3, where they were at.
Can we get some stone put in, a couple of them up there on Ida Street? Because they are pretty deep.
Ida,
potholes.
yeah. I just set them up, Cary and Scott. Those are getting wore out too.
Yeah.
We keep trying to keep them filled.
Yeah, like I said, they're on Ida. There are a couple pretty deep ones.
Yeah. Then our big project coming up is the water and sewer project on Perry Street. They're putting the signs out today. I didn't know if anyone's seen them. And then this year will be the sidewalk to Walmart. We'll get ready for that. We're trying.
You got a plan, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you very, very
All right,
much.
thank you. Economic development, anything to be discussed there? Economic, okay. Income tax? Can't remember if there was a report. No. All right, anything from the auditor's office? Nope. Treasurer, law director, John?
Yeah, so we are getting, not something necessarily that I have to do, but all elected officials are required to do the open records training with the Ohio Attorney General. Historically, the council members have designated me to do that training. So we're at that point again where I need to start working through unless everyone wants to take it on their own. So the state auditors, they seem to dig deeper into this stuff every year. So what I'm asking of all the elected officials this year is, if you want me to do this, you can read it, and I would ask that everyone sign this today where we have a written designation, so it's just not unofficial, because then if the state asks, we have something where you've each designated me to do that. And I mean, I get continuing education for it, which I need as an attorney anyway, so where you guys, I would encourage anyone that wants to do it. I would encourage you to do it. It is free. You go to the Attorney General Open Records training, but it's important. So I will just make sure we can just kind of pass this around. Anyone that wants to sign it can, and if you want to do it on your own, that's fine. But that's what I have to report.
All right. Any questions for John? Okay then, Cindy.
You'll see Mike has a report in there about what he treats at the sewer plant. Hey, and the great news is we're getting closer. That number is coming down from where we started. So, like Theron said, the signage went up today. We thought that Main Street was going to be closed on Monday, March 30th. But the signage says April 6th because they have to have, the signage company has to, when they put the signs up, it has to be 2 weeks. So starting April 6th, Main Street will be closed, and it says it will be for 45 days. They're going to do both the sewer and the water tap at that time, tie the new water line in, and they have to bore underneath the railroad in order to get AEP and Village Pantry off of the siphon that goes underneath the river, and then we'll fill that siphon with concrete. And that is scheduled for the end of April. I think it's April 20th is when that is scheduled for. So that 45 days may be pretty close to 45 days. So that's all I got.
All right. Mayor Webb, anything right now?
I'll wait till then.
Okay. Then we'll go on to reports of committees. Does finance have anything to discuss? I don't think you've met since, but.
No,
anything?
we haven't met since. We meet the
Okay.
13th of April.
13th of April. MOP?
Mom has
anything?
not met.
Okay. Public utilities?
We did meet. Angelica was here, and we discussed the water bills going to property owners versus tenants, and we're going to start focusing maybe more on delinquent water bills and how we can help those people or not help those people. We also went with Cindy March 18th to Newark, Ohio. Sue, Lydia, Doris, myself, and had a really great day learning from RCAP about how they assess like when we hire them to do water rate studies, how they do that, how they give out their grant money. It was very interesting to know that. We're very blessed in the grants we've got because there was a room full of people wanting those same grants that we've gotten. It talked about the operations of the water treatment plant and the sewer treatment plant, the classifications our workers have to have and their training. So it was a really good and informative meeting for us. And at the end of the day, we got certified. So we are certified for 5 years in that.
Okay. Any questions for Robin? All right then. Streets, alleys, and sidewalks.
We have a meeting this Wednesday at 3:30.
All right, and how about legislation?
We will follow at 4:30.
Council members, again, I don't think regional planning started meeting yet. Parks and Rec, anything to talk about there?
Yeah, so we
Rob?
did meet on the 18th. Dawn and Deb were here representing the quarry. Elizabeth was here for the pool. Tom Purcell was voted in as president this year. Michelle Messer is a member. Tasha Heidinger, Mike Steyer, and then they voted in a new representative, which will be Charity Robinson. So Dawn and Deb have a bench donation for the quarry for Peter Gunn, and they have that placed where that would where his family wants out to go. The shelter house blew down during one of the storms. I think Cindy was turning that into the insurance company, and then there's 3 trees that they have down there that we're going to have Don Hall go out to see what he thinks needs to be done with those. So Deb and Don are requesting a policy change for visitors at the quarry. So the Park and Rec Board will vote on that. The Wharton Park has a need to be resurfaced, the basketball court, and making the walking path widened and cleared out. And the swimming pool has half of the guards from last year back. They're taking applications for front desk and the slide. And then she wants to change the age verbiage out there. Instead of 8 and over, by a parent, she wants to raise that because we have a lot of 8-year-olds watching their little siblings coming out there with no parents. So that's something they'll vote on. The Lions got the merry-go-round done. It's up according to Theron, and that is it until we meet again April 22nd.
All right, thanks, Robin.
I have a question. On this age thing, are you saying how old a person has to be to supervise younger people, not how old they have to have a parent there?
Yes. Like they're 8 and under that's the age without a parent. But they're
Right.
bringing their younger siblings.
Right.
So they want to raise that to age 12 to be unaccompanied by a parent. So I don't know. That goes to vote to the Park and Rec Board. They were going to take that under consideration and decide what they need to do with that. But Elizabeth said it got really bad last year because kids would get dropped off and have 2 or 3 little siblings to take care of and no parent. So on the
Okay.
Park and Rec Board, I don't have a vote on that. I represent the city. I don't have a vote, nor does Lynn. That's completely up to the Park and Rec Board on how they vote for these changes in their programs. So I wanted to kind of clarify that also.
Okay. Shade Tree Commission. Oh, and Miss Grove Cemetery.
From Cemetery, we have, our next meeting is April 7th, 5 o'clock.
Okay. Lydia, anything with Shade Tree Commission or Tree Commission?
We actually met with Stephanie Miller, who is the ODNR representative. So she went to the library and they found the spot to plant the tree for Arbor Day. And she also has given us dates for the in June and July to walk the streets, to mark all the area with a map. I mean, doesn't mean that whatever happens to those trees, but she's mapping out the areas that the trees would be possibilities to be cut down. Now, I don't know that we have the meeting on March the 25th, but I will verify at the Elk, so.
It's not on my books.
It's not on her book either, so maybe.
Okay. BKP Amos District did meet last Monday night at 6 o'clock. Fairly short meeting, not a lot of business to discuss. went through the financials, pretty uneventful. I will say at the end of the night, we did have a discussion that I'll bring up only for you all to be aware of the same thing. I would highly encourage you to make certain you understand the potential impact of this property tax issue and the impact that could have on rural fire, on EMS, on libraries, on county government, city government, you name it. And even beyond that, granted, the direct impact to our budget is, I don't want to use the term minimal, but that's probably a correct description, the direct impact. The indirect impact could be substantial. So, for example, with fire especially. So I would encourage you all to get up to speed on that. And I didn't even mention schools.
Well, and
Yeah, schools.
to piggyback off of that, if you go to the Hardin County Treasurer site and pull up your parcel, there's a pie chart that shows what percentage of your property taxes go to each one of those items. You know, and a lot of what I read on social media and you see out there, that's the people that are really pushing this initiative are say, well, there's just too much government spending, they're spending too much money in Columbus. Well, you look at your tax bill, I guarantee it's 55% for the schools. And they're saying, well, you need to cut down in Columbus. Well, how is Columbus going to solve that issue, you know? So, and keep in mind, a lot of those levies have been voted in by the voters. So we have said, we want this. And so it is a big issue. But if you look, anyone can just go to the Hardin County Treasurer site, pull up your parcel, and there's a little pie grid, and it shows kind of what percentage. And it's important to know what you're voting for. So no one has any solutions on how to come up with the revenue. They just think, well, it'll be solved, you know, if you read a lot of the posts. So.
And I would say one more thing. I'll say it out loud. If that is solved with a sales tax initiative that comes from the state level, if we were to get that far, now this is a lot of hypothetical here, folks, but if we were to get that far, that also puts an awful lot of control in the state government and very little control in city, village, and township government and county government. Another thing to keep in mind. No old business that I can see, no new business. So let's get into ordinances and resolutions. And first, I would call your attention, we do have an agenda addition. And I assume we'll do that one third. So you have a new item that's laying on your desk. You received an email this afternoon. This will be read third under first readings, and it would have an asterisk beside it. It is something that it'll be explained later, but they're going to want you to look at tonight, along with the first one that Emma is going to read right now.
Resolution number 006-26, a resolution to approve the 2026 recommendations of the Kenton Buck Tax Incentive Review Council and declaring an emergency.
I'm just kind of looking down toward you all.
I can address that.
It's one Hollywood here.
Right.
Right.
So Holly was here at last meeting explaining what's going on. And basically, we have previously approved tax incentive, basically abatements with Graphic Packaging, Stillwater Metal, Kenton Health Facilities, Robinson Finn Machines. And this just states we want to continue that arrangement. And keep in mind, they've made investments into the community and are making investments in the community in reliance on that exemption. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. would recommend we pass it, because again, we've already approved each of these. Some of them are years ago, before people, but the city council has approved these in the past. And I mean, the most recent one was, for like the Van Crest. There's an abatement there on that development, so.
And every year, they have to come and present to make sure, and they have to bring their numbers, their employment numbers, investment numbers, expansion numbers, all of that. And then everybody votes. So that's involved in the tax incentive. So there's accountability there, I just wanted to say.
I'm led to believe there's a time issue here that we're a little bit behind, so.
Mr. President, I would move that we waive the three-read rule for resolution number 006-26.
I'll second that.
Moved by Sue, seconded by Robin to suspend the rules. We'll go ahead and vote on that.
Sue Fox-Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yeah.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
And that passes 7-0, so,
I move that we adopt resolution
all right.
006-26.
All right, thank you, Peg.
I'll second.
Second by Chad. Any discussion? Okay.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox-Broker.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. All right, next up.
Resolution number 007-26, a resolution finalizing actions under codified ordinance number 24-013 to permit the city of Kenton to enter into a highway improvement agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation and declaring an emergency.
Anything you want to talk about this, Cindy or Lynn?
No, this is the roundabout. So it is,
The
we
roundabout.
can go three reads.
The rollabout.
The rollabout, yes.
Obviously, if you're going to ask some questions and want some things answered, let's get our research done and figure it out. So you feel comfortable voting here in 4 weeks or so. So if there are no objections, we'll read that again a second time at the next meeting.
Ordinance number 26-005, an ordinance providing for additional appropriations and for transferring funds for the year 2026 for the city of Kenton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Christie has a nice explanation here for your reading pleasure. Is there anything you want to add to that, Christie? Or?
I do not. Cindy, do you want to explain for a little bit?
Yeah, there's a part that you were going to explain, Cindy, right?
For waterworks.
Yeah, so the Waterworks Fund is something new. We created a new line because it seems like there's a lot of EPA programs that we are having to do, and I thought, well, we need to create a line just so we can track how much money we are spending to stay in EPA compliance on some of these programs that they had. So this is a new requirement for the backflow. It was a finding in our 2025 audit, so we need to get it addressed and resolved. So
that would be a new appropriation, that 15.
yes,
Now, the one above it is a new appropriation, but if I'm reading that right, it's grant funds.
Right.
It came in last year.
Yeah,
That's what
so it
they-
came in last year. And then, of course, the street fund, that's a transfer just to make certain we get that in the right line item.
yes,
So as you see, there's really only new money of 15,000 in here
Right,
for
and-
something we have to do.
and on the water budget in we had extra money in the budget that we had not, so that is not like we're going over our budget.
So it's something they'd kind of like to move forward on. I'm guessing what's pushing that as much as anything are the top two, well, probably all three of them. But,
On the crack ceiling, it's something new we're trying this year. Just, Theron, pop up here and kind of explain it. Manpower, knowledge, the guy you worked with.
Yeah, we have J&A Construction came in, and he graded what roads he felt like needed crack sealing and which ones like don't waste your money crack sealing on it. Manpower wise, we just don't have the guys to do it. And so we're going to work with him and he's going to help us get it all done.
So this is the first year we're outsourcing it. Usually we would do it in-house, and it would be like at the end of the door patching season and before leak pickup, and
Yep.
last couple of years we were in a time crunch, so last year we didn't do it at all, so.
Yep.
So we lose road.
They don't need to go to bid or nothing, we could just hire it. Does it require a bid process for, if it's under a threshold, or would it have to?
We'll have to look and see what that threshold is.
Yeah, we can put it out to bid. I don't know if we can find anybody else to do
Right,
it, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The problem is most of them are full already.
We would usually rent the equipment, lease it out, and, that's something we're really not very well trained in, how to get it done. We run into safety issues doing the main highways, so don't have enough people to do flagging and all that stuff, so.
We'll look at the bidding requirements, though, if it has to be bid or if we can declare it as an emergency.
Well, my understanding was that we want to try to pass this tonight, isn't that right?
Yes, we want you to pass it. Yes.
Right. Right. So looking for,
And Mr. President, I move to suspend the three-read rule on ordinance number 26-005.
all right, thanks, Robin. I did hear a second.
Doris.
Doris did second. No discussion, we'll go ahead and vote on suspension rule.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones,
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller.
Yes.
Okay, passes 7-0, so we can go ahead and consider the ordinance.
I move we adopt ordinance number 26-005.
Thank you,
I'll
Chad.
second it.
Second by Cliff. Any discussion? Okay,
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones,
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger.
Yes.
passes 7-0.
Resolution number 001-26, a resolution finalizing actions under codified ordinance number 25-005 to permit the city of Kenton to enter into a highway improvement project with the Ohio Department of Transportation and declaring an emergency.
Just so we remember with this,
Sidewalks.
sidewalks. that's right. So it's third reading. Any last minute questions? Looking for a motion.
When will they start that project? Do you have-
It should be going out to bid here in April, so it'll be this summer.
I would move for the adoption of resolution number 001-26.
Second that.
Moved by Sue, seconded by Peg. Any discussion?
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones,
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Resolution number 004-26, a resolution authorizing the sale of personal property not needed for municipal purposes and declaring an emergency.
I would just remind you, it was as amended. We did add a piece a few weeks back. And it is a third read, so
Move that we adopt resolution number 004-26.
thanks, Peg.
Second that.
Second by Robin. Any discussion? All right.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren.
Yes.
All right, 7-0, that passes.
Ordinance number 26-003, an ordinance amending codified ordinance section 1437.05, 1437.07, and 1437.10 relating to the downtown historic district in the city of Kenton.
And generally speaking, this was,
Really just the committee, the appointments.
Yes.
That the mayor
Oh, yeah.
picks, and then they would be, again, subject to a basically roll vote approval by city council. That's the main change.
What
And
does that do with
that
that?
certain permits also can be approved by the safety service director unless there's a variance, and then that's when it would go to the board, the downtown board. Those are the main substantive changes.
any questions?
I move we adopt ordinance number 26-003.
Thanks, Chad.
I'll second.
Thanks, Cliff, for the second. Any discussion? Okay.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker.
Yes.
Lydia Miller.
Yes.
Cliff Winiger.
Yes.
Chad Miller.
Yes.
Peg Wren.
Yes.
Doris Bloom.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. Any other matters to be presented this evening? Any comments from the public about the news media? Okay, we'll go council members, administration, anything, Brad?
I've got two questions. I don't know if they're interesting now or not, but is the city council allowed to take a position on that property tax issue? Is that something the council is allowed to do or not?
At the point that it did get on, council could decide to pass a resolution.
In opposition
In
or
opposition
in
or
favor?
support.
Yes.
So they could take a position on it later on?
Mhm.
They could, okay, that's what I wanted to know, if they could or not. And I just have a question, I was going through my May calendar, is there going to be a meeting the 4th Monday of May? That's near the holiday.
It is a
Will it be
holiday.
rescheduled, or will it just be?
Didn't,
It's Memorial Day.
We didn't move it yet.
oh, we didn't move it yet, yeah. Usually we take care of that, Brad, so thank you for pointing that out. I'll just bring it up now, so you guys can think about it, we've got time. But normally we would have that the next Tuesday if all of council and everybody here was okay with that. Just think about it, we'll formalize that the next meeting.
So it might get moved to the Tuesday after.
It definitely will not be
On that.
on Memorial Day.
Okay, thank you.
And more than likely, it would be, if I kind of looked at the nodding heads, I'm thinking it will be the Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Christie. Anything last minute from fire, police, city, or public works? Sue?
I would just like to mention what a wonderful job our mayor did at the State of the City. That was a great presentation. The utilization of the PAC was great. And it's kind of hard to tell how well attended it really was because it's such a massive place. It didn't seem like maybe that many, but I think that there may have been more than were at the last one, but I'm not sure, but it seemed like it. But I just thought Lynn did a super job, and I thought it was a really informative and well-presented State of the City. I liked the presentation too, but it was my first time there, so I couldn't have anything else to compare it to, but I was impressed. And I don't know who this Mr. Buckenroth is, but I think he does a great job.
Oh, yeah, same here. I enjoyed the meeting that we had up there, and she did present it very well. I was kind of impressed myself, so she did a good job.
No, go ahead.
I echo what everybody else
Yeah.
has. That's what I was going to talk about tonight. I thought it was very well presented. My husband was very impressed too. He says, "You guys have really been busy this year." I said, "No kidding."
I'd like to thank Emma. I think she did a lot of the work on
Yes.
the presentation. And yes, Lynn did a wonderful job.
Thank you, Lynn, Emma, Colt. It was great to see where we're headed, what we have now, and where we're going to be. So that was a good thing.
Well, you guys stole some of my thunder. Yeah, it's a great collaboration with the city schools. And being able to do it at the PAC was just, it's a great privilege. And I can't thank Colt enough. He was in from the beginning. And then Landon Plogger, who's his right-hand man, who's another person who just is completely sold out for us. And a young kid that's really all about his community. I can't thank him enough. Thank you, everybody who attended in person, which most of you here, and those online. We did say on live, I forget what they were up to. 53 were watching online, so.
That's impressive.
That was good, and Emma and Whitney were the ones behind the presentation. We had it, and then we dismantled it, and then we had it, and but they do 99% of the work. So it's just, again, it's collaboration from top to bottom. So it's always exciting to encourage and let people know where we're headed. So thank you guys for allowing it to happen.
It's escaping me, yeah.
I don't think we have a meeting before Mary Poppins.
Already did it.
So just inviting everybody, come watch Mary Poppins fly. I'm going to be playing in the orchestra.
So before we adjourn, I would ask council to consider going into a closed session for, I didn't write down. I should. ORC, my cheat sheet. Section 121-22G, item 4, labor negotiations. Need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Sue, second by Robin. Any discussion?
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. Don't anticipate any business afterwards. Other than that, it's no. Step outside, it's not. Anything else that needs to be discussed this evening? All right, with that then, unless there are objections, we are adjourned until Monday, April 13th, 7 o'clock.